Welcome to Moments in History channel. Julius Caesar, the name itself echoes through history, a symbol of power, ambition, and ultimate betrayal. But who was the man behind the legend? How did one individual so completely reshape the destiny of Rome and, by extension, the entire Western world? Today, we're diving deep into the life of one of history's most brilliant, complex, and controversial figures. From his early days in the chaotic world of Roman politics to his legendary military campaigns and his dramatic bloody end, this is the story of Gaius Julius Caesar. Born in 100 BCE into the Julii clan, an ancient but not particularly wealthy patrician family, Caesar's early life was shaped by the brutal power struggles of the late Roman Republic. Rome was a city of chaos, where ambitious generals and rival politicians battled for control. As a young man, Caesar witnessed this firsthand. His family was connected to Gaius Marius, a powerful general and populist leader, which put them on the wrong side of Marius's rival, the ruthless dictator Sulla. When Sulla seized power, a teenage Caesar was forced to flee Rome, his life in constant danger. This early experience taught him a crucial lesson. In Rome, power was everything, and hesitation could be fatal. After Sulla's death, Caesar returned to Rome, determined to make his mark. He was charismatic, intelligent, and incredibly ambitious. He began his career in the traditional way, working as a lawyer and climbing the political ladder known as the cursus honorum. He quickly gained a reputation as a gifted orator, captivating the Roman people with his speeches in the forum. He knew that to gain real power, he needed two things: popularity with the masses and a loyal army. He spent lavishly on public games and festivals to win over the people, even going deep into personal debt to do so. His rivals saw him as a reckless spendthrift, but Caesar was playing a long game. His big break came in 60 BCE, when he formed a secret alliance with two of Rome's most powerful men: Marcus Licinius Crassus, the richest man in Rome, and Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, or Pompey the Great, Rome's most celebrated general. This informal pact, known as the First Triumvirate, allowed the three men to bypass the Senate and effectively control Roman politics. With the backing of Crassus and Pompey, Caesar secured the position of consul, the highest office in the Republic. But Caesar wanted more than just a year in office. He wanted a military command, a proconsulship that would give him an army and the chance to win glory and wealth. He was assigned the governorship of Gaul, a vast and untamed territory that roughly corresponds to modern-day France, Belgium, and parts of Switzerland and Germany. For the next 8 years, from 58 to 50 BCE, Caesar waged a series of brilliant and brutal military campaigns known as the Gallic Wars. He was a tactical genius, known for his lightning-fast movements, innovative engineering, and the unwavering loyalty he inspired in his legions. His soldiers adored him. He fought alongside them, shared their hardships, and knew many of them by name. One of his most incredible feats was the siege of Alesia in 52 BCE. Caesar's forces were besieging the Gallic chieftain Vercingetorix, who was holed up in a fortified hilltop town. But then, a massive Gallic relief army arrived, trapping the Romans between the town and the new enemy force. Caesar was now the one under siege. In a stroke of military brilliance, he ordered his men to build 2 lines of fortifications, one facing inward to keep Vercingetorix's army contained, and another facing outward to defend against the relief army. The Romans were outnumbered, but they held their ground in a desperate, bloody battle and emerged victorious. The surrender of Vercingetorix effectively ended the Gallic resistance and brought all of Gaul under Roman control. But Caesar wasn't just a general. He was also a master propagandist. Throughout the campaigns, he wrote detailed dispatches back to Rome, which were later compiled into his famous work, Commentarii de Bello Gallico, or Commentaries on the Gallic War. Written in clear, concise Latin, the book presented Caesar as a decisive, brilliant, and merciful commander, always acting in the best interests of Rome. It was a masterpiece of political spin, making him a hero to the Roman people and cementing his fame. His victories in Gaul had not only expanded Rome's territory to the Atlantic Ocean, but had also given him a battle-hardened, fiercely loyal army and immense personal wealth. Back in Rome, however, his success was viewed with increasing alarm. His ally Crassus had been killed in battle in the east, and his other partner Pompey had grown wary of Caesar's rising popularity and power. Allying himself with the conservative faction of the Senate, known as the Optimates, Pompey sought to strip Caesar of his command and prosecute him. The Senate issued an ultimatum. Caesar must disband his army and return to Rome as a private citizen. Caesar was now at a crossroads. To obey meant facing his political enemies, certain trial, and the end of his career. To disobey meant civil war. On January 10th, 49 BCE, Caesar made his fateful decision. Leading a single legion, the Legio Thrasymena, he marched to the border of Italy, a small river called the Rubicon. According to the historian Suetonius, as he hesitated on the riverbank, he uttered the famous words, "Alea iacta est," the die is cast. By crossing the Rubicon with his army, he was declaring war on the state. What followed was a swift and stunning civil war. Pompey and the senators, caught off guard by Caesar's speed, fled Italy for Greece to gather their forces. Caesar pursued them. The decisive battle took place at Pharsalus in 48 BCE. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Caesar's tactical skill and the experience of his veterans won him a crushing victory. Pompey fled to Egypt, hoping to find refuge, but was assassinated as he stepped ashore, a move that Caesar himself reportedly disapproved of. With his main rival dead, Caesar was the undisputed master of the Roman world. He returned to Rome not as a conqueror, but as a figure of clemency, pardoning many of his former enemies. The Senate, now compliant, showered him with honors, eventually appointing him dictator for 10 years. And then, in 44 BCE, dictator for life, dictator perpetuo. In effect, the Republic was dead, and Caesar was its king in all but name. As dictator, Caesar embarked on an ambitious program of reforms. He sought to stabilize the fractured state and improve the lives of its citizens. He granted Roman citizenship to people in the provinces, which helped to unify the vast empire. He initiated large-scale public works projects to provide jobs for the unemployed and founded new colonies for his veterans. He reformed the tax system and cracked down on corruption. Perhaps his most enduring reform was the calendar. The old Roman calendar was a mess and had drifted far out of sync with the seasons. With the help of astronomers, Caesar introduced the Julian calendar, a solar-based system of 365.25 days with a leap year every 4 years. This calendar, with a few minor adjustments, is the one we still use today. But as Caesar's power grew, so did the fear and resentment among the old Roman aristocracy. They saw his concentration of power and his populist appeal as a mortal threat to the traditions of the Republic. Whispers of conspiracy filled the halls of the Senate. Many senators, including some he had pardoned, believed he aimed to be crowned king, an idea that was deeply offensive to Roman Republican values. The plot was led by two men, Marcus Junius Brutus, who was thought to be a descendant of the man who had overthrown Rome's last king centuries earlier, and Gaius Cassius Longinus. The conspirators chose a date for their assassination, the 15th of March, 44 BCE, a day known in the Roman calendar as the Ides of March. According to legend, Caesar was warned by his wife, Calpurnia, who had a nightmare about his death, and by a soothsayer who had told him to beware the Ides of March. But Caesar dismissed the warnings and went to the Senate meeting as planned. As he entered the Curia of Pompey, the senators surrounded him. One of them pulled down his toga, the signal to attack. The conspirators lunged forward, stabbing him with daggers they had hidden in their robes. According to reports, he was stabbed 23 times. He fell at the foot of a statue of his great rival, Pompey, his blood staining the Senate floor. The assassins claimed they had acted to restore the Republic, but their actions would achieve the very opposite. Caesar's death did not save the Republic. It plunged Rome into another round of brutal civil wars. The conspirators, Brutus and Cassius, were eventually defeated and killed by Caesar's loyal general Mark Antony, and Caesar's adopted son and heir, a young man named Octavian. Antony and Octavian would then turn on each other, with Octavian ultimately emerging victorious. He would go on to consolidate his power, and in 27 BCE, he was given the title Augustus, becoming Rome's first true emperor. The Republic was officially over. The legacy of Julius Caesar is immense and complicated. Was he a power-hungry tyrant who destroyed the Republic for his own ambition? Or was he a visionary reformer who ended a century of civil strife and laid the groundwork for the peace and stability of the Roman Empire? The truth, as is often the case, probably lies somewhere in between. His life was a testament to ambition, genius, and the complex nature of power. His name, Caesar, became a title synonymous with absolute authority, living on in words like Kaiser in Germany and Tsar in Russia for nearly 2,000 years. He forever changed the course of Rome, and in doing so, he forever changed the world. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into Roman history, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Moments in History channel for more deep dives into the lives of history's most fascinating figures. Let me know in the comments who you think Julius Caesar really was, a hero or a villain. We'll see you in the next one.